Yasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana
Yasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanatari Jamuna Tira Vanatari Jamuna Tira Vanatari Jamuna Tira Vanatari Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Nitai God, Hare God, Hare God. Esi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivrana Kacharya. Asto Tulsatat Systematic Divine Grace La Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavena ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridasa Gaur ki Jai. Prem Sikahau Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasudeva Sri Gaura Bhakti ki Jai. Sisi Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana ki Jai. Vrindavan Mathura Dham ki Jai. Navadip Dham ki Jai. Jagannath-puri Dham ki Jai. Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakti Devi ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories of the summer devotees. All glories of the summer devotees. All glories of the summer devotees. All glories to Sigura and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskritya. Narayanam Namaskritya. Naram Cheva Narottam. Devim Saraswati Vyasat. Tato Jaya Mudirayat. Nastapaye Sabhadesu. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Sloke. Bhakti Bhavaiti Naistiki. Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 6, Chapter 13, text 19 to 20. So, title of this chapter is Indra Afflicted by Sinful Reaction. Ate Jamani Puruse Sarva Deva Mayatmani Aswame De Mahindrina Vitate Brahmavadibi Savai Twastra Vado Bhuyan Happy Papa Chayuripa Nitastene Vasunyaya Nihara Eva Bhanuna Ate Jamani Puruse Sarva Deva Mayatmani Aswame De Mahindrina Vitate Brahma Vidibi Vitate Brahma Vadibi Savai Trastra Vado Bhuyan Happy Papa Chayuripa Nitastene Vasunyaya Nihara Eva Bhanuna Ate Jamani Puruse Sarva Deva Mayatmani Aswame De Mahindrina Vitate Brahma Vadibi Savai Trastra Vado Bhuyan Api Papa Chayo Ripa Nitastene Vasunyaya Nihan Eva Bhanuna
Atyejamani Purushe Sarvadeva Mayatmani Ashwamedhi Mahendrena Vitate Brahma Vidivi Savai Tastra Vado Bhuya Abhipapa Chayondripa Nitasta Tinaiva Subhyaya Niharaiva Vamanuna Ategamani Purushe Sarvadeva Mayatmani Ashwamedhi Mahendrena Vitate Brahmavadibi Savai Tvashta Vado Bhuyan Abhipapa Chayonapa Nitastene Vasunyaya Nihara Iva Bhanuna.
Anyone else?
Atejamane
Purushe
Sarva Deva Mayatmani Ashwamedhi Mahendrena Tate Brahma Vadibi
finish? Thank you. Okay, word for word translation and translation by His Divine Grace, His Companion Child, Srila A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta-Swami-Prabhupada Maharaj. Good. Srila Prabhupada. Good. Srila Prabhupada. Good. Word for word translation. Atta. Therefore. Ijamane. When worshipped. Puruse, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sava, all. Deva Maya Atmani, the super soul and maintainer of the demigods. Ashvamedha, through the Ashvamedha Jagya. Maha Indrena, by King Indra. Vitate, being administered. Brahmavadibihi, by the saints and brahmanas, expert in Vedic knowledge. Saha, that. Vai, indeed. Trastravadaha, the killing of Vritrasura, the son of Trasta. Bayat, Buyat, may be, happy, although. Papachayaha, mass of sin. Ripa, O king. Nitaha, was brought. Tena, by the horse sacrifice. Eva, certainly. Sunyaya, to nothing. Niharaha, fog. Iva, like. Banuna, by the brilliant sun. Translation. The horse sacrifice performed by the saintly Brahmanas relieved Indra of the reactions to all his sins because he worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead in that sacrifice. O king, although he had committed a gravely sinful act, it was nullified at once by that sacrifice, just as fog is vanquished by the brilliant sunrise. Please kindly responsibly repeat. The horse sacrifice performed by the saintly Brahmanas.
The horse sacrifice performed by the saintly Brahmanas
Relieved Indra of the reactions to all his sins.
relieved Indra of the reactions to all his sins.
Because he worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead in that sacrifice.
Because he worshipped the Supreme Personality of God in that sacrifice.
O king, although he had committed a gravely sinful act,
For he, although he had committed a greatly sinful act,
It was nullified at once by that sacrifice.
It was nullified at once by that sacrifice.
Just as fog is vanquished by the brilliant sunrise.
Just as fog is vanquished by the brilliant sunrise.
So, our text has no pop-up. I'm going to read the translation of text 21. King Indra was favored by Marishi and the other great sages. They performed the sacrifice just according to the rules and regulations, worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Super Soul, the original person. Thus Indra regained his exalted position and was again honored by everyone. Again, there's no pop-up. We just go to the next text, which is text 22 to 23, the translation. In this very great narrative, there is glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan. There are statements about the exaltedness of devotional service. There are descriptions of devotees like Indra and Vritrasura. And there are statements about King Indra's release from sinful life and about his victory in fighting the demons. By understanding this incident, one is relieved of all sinful reactions. Therefore, the learned are always advised to read this narration. If one does so, one will become expert in the activities of the senses. His opulence will increase, and his reputation will become widespread. One will also be relieved of all sinful reactions. He will conquer all his enemies, and the duration of his life will increase. Because this narration is auspicious in all respects, learned scholars regularly hear and repeat it on every festival day. Thus ends the Bhakti-Vedanta purpose of the 6th canto, 13th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled King Indra Afflicted by Sinful Reaction. Chaitanya Manovistam, Stapitam Yenabhutu, Swayam Rupam Kadamaya, Vedati Swam Vedantika. Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda Sahorata, Guladhaya Puspavanto Chitachandra. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale, Samad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Itinam, Namaste Saraswati Devi Gopani Pracharane, Nirvasesa. So, again we are hearing how Indra regained his position. He lost his position because of unethical behavior. He suffered. He was running hell to skelter to get some relief or protection from his sinful reactions. Sinful reaction from killing Vritrasura. Although Vritrasura was supposedly a demon, see, the whole of this Bhagavatam is like a theatrical performance. Theater artists, they come on stage. Somebody plays the role of a hero, and someone plays the role of a villain. So in the Bhagavatam, also you find that some of these so-called demons are actually devotees. And one thing or the other has impelled them to assume those positions. So the case of Vritasura is also a typical scenario. You had this background, and here we are understanding some things about what follows when we perform sinful activity. Sometimes the reaction is very swift. Sometimes someone may think, I am very smart, I'm very fast. Nobody saw me. Who was there? Nobody. That may be true for material laws. And the police system is such that we are monitored. But the universal police system is very subtle. We don't see any police coming to watch us. Hey, you're doing the wrong thing, boy. No, nobody like that. And so, I think the police system is better because at least the police system, you know, some policeman is going to come and get you arrested. But this one, you can just do your sinful activities or your criminal activities for a very long time. And one may not be lucky to get the reactions immediately, and it may be transferred to the next life. And this is why people get confused. I know the case of Massachusetts rabbi in Massachusetts, in America. The rabbi are the priests, the clergies of the what do you call this religion? The Jews, yeah. So, they're the renunciants. They're the renunciants. I mean, they give their whole life to God. And so this Jewish rabbi, he gave birth to a child that was inflicted with progeria. Progeria is a type of disease. Now, the child is born, and by 15 years, they have already grown to become an adult, an old man, and they wane and they die. So this happened to him. He thought, what? I am a good guy. I'm a priest. I gave my life to God. How could this happen to me? So he speculated and wrote a book titled Why Bad Things Happen to Good People. Because he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand the principle of actions and reactions as delineated in the Vedic literature. So this is a big confusion for a lot of people who are not familiar with the Vedic wisdom. People speculate a lot and they confuse their followers. And sometimes even people think, oh, you can do anything. So far, you're not caught by the police, you're good to go. A little boy was told, this was in America, a little boy was told by his father, yeah, you can steal as long as you don't get caught. But then the boy thought, wait a minute, no, I'm not going to do this. So intelligent people, if even they get negative instructions from somebody, they process it. They process it and try to evaluate what to do about that instruction. People don't just jump into an instruction, because when you execute the instruction, you may not be exempted from the reactions. This is the case of Indra. he got counseling from the Brahmanas. Kill British rule. So, when you get counseling from people that you're relying on, the tendency is to execute that plan. But for one to be in a position of, in a high-profile position, one should also be very much situated in transcendental knowledge. Otherwise, some of the counseling you receive could be misleading. We condition souls. By default, we have that tendency to make mistakes or even to cheat. Therefore, Indra got his instructions from the Brahmanas and executed the plan. But now he's suffering. But then the beauty is that he took shelter, like I mentioned the other day, yesterday. He took shelter of the Supreme Lord. He went to Manasa Sarovara and took shelter, because that is the personification of Lord Vishnu. So he took shelter there, and that is how he got protected from the sinful reactions. And then the Brahmanas recommended, he came, and the Brahmanas recommended for him to perform Ashwamedha sacrifice. The Ashwamedha sacrifice was nicely executed, nicely done. And so it's mentioned in this text that because the Ashwamedha sacrifice, the object of worship in the Ashwamedha sacrifice is Lord Vishnu, not the demigods. A demigod cannot free us from sinful reactions. A demigod may give you some blessings, but they will not free us from any sinful reactions. And even the blessings, they are like ministers. The blessings, they pass through the demigods because they are worshipping the Supreme. So yeah, even the blessings, the so-called blessings we get from the demigods, they are actually coming from the Supreme. But the conditioned soul in most cases is deficient of these fundamental information, fundamental knowledge, that the demigods are simply via medium. And so, Lord Krishna mentions in the Gita that people who do not have sufficient brain substance, in other words, they don't have sufficient intelligence, they worship the demigods. They want what we call in America a quick fix. Quick fix. They don't want to waste time. Go to Lord Shiva, get the quick fix. He will give you. What you use, how you use that benediction, and the reactions that come, is purely your responsibility. So it gives us an understanding how in the network of devotion this very description is given, how sinful reactions, they come in different, we experience that in different categories. One is like a matured sinful reaction, that is the one we are passing through right now. And then one is in the pipeline. One is like in a seed form. It's yet to sprout. It will sprout. It's a matter of time. So sinful activities or unethical activities, the very characteristics of sinful activities is that they have their requitals. They have their feedbacks, their responses. So if someone does something good, they get some good feedback. If someone does something funny, then they get some horrible feedback. And so it is important for people of this world, and this is why we are distributing Prabhupada's books, for people to understand how we are the architects of our lives. How we use our lives is going to determine our next phase of existence. If we use the life for the worship of the Supreme Lord, then great, our future is very bright. If we use the life, the human life, for engaging in other activities and forget the worship of the Lord, we don't say people should not engage in other activities, but forget that the prime objective of human existence is to attain Krishna Prema. Krishna Prema Pumato Mohan. Everything else we are doing is just to keep body and soul together. And Indra, he knows this. But he was under the guidance of a Brahmana. Sometimes the people who guiding you, they confuse you. One boy in India, he was a college student. So in India they have this counseling system. So it was under one counselor. So the counselor, he brought him to his Guru Maharaj. His Guru Maharaj is Gopal Krishna, the late Gopal Krishna Maharaj. So he brought him to Gopal Krishna Maharaj, introduced him to Gopal Krishna Maharaj. You know, when you're cultivating somebody, in most cases the devotee wants to show it to their guru. They cultivated them for their guru. Brought him to his guru and said, this is a college student. We're teaching him the process of Bhakti. Okay, so Gopal Krishna took cognizance of that. The next time he met this boy, Maharaj met this boy, was during initiation. So, and he quite remember, he's an intelligent person, he remembered this boy, the last time he met him, he was in school. So this time, he asked, during initiation, he want to give him initiation, so he asked that, when are you graduating? When I graduated from college, the boy said, I stopped college. He said, why? He said, oh, my counselor said I should stop. I should just, stop college. Mother was not so happy about it. So, yes, let's go on to Aikija. Sometimes people don't want to follow the hard part. I mentioned some people, they want the quick fix. But life is also multidimensional. Like in the Upanishad, it's mentioned that we have to cultivate science and nescience side by side. In other words, we have to do both sides, because if we don't have the resources to buy boga, for instance, Krishna is not going to arrange the boga and throw it down from Krishna Loka. So we could say, well, I just depend on Krishna, Krishna, you do everything. But in practical terms, that's always not the case. Even on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna was not doing everything. He was doing a prescribed duty. In fact, Krishna is also described as Swadharmanista, one who is fixated in his duty. So he was doing some duty there, and now what was the duty? Charioteer for Arjuna. So Arjuna will tell him, hey, take me there, and take me here. Krishna was not the archer. He was not pulling the bow and stringing. he was doing some service for his devotee. But the devotee was the main one who has to go to the front and do the fight. So, when we understand our prescribed duty, what we need to do, and get the support from Krishna, it makes things easy. And therefore, taking some advice from somebody who could give us a confusion in our lives is pretty dangerous. And this happens a lot, even in our own movement. I mean, I remember, again, I was in India. I went to one temple. This is managed by one of my young friends. And some college students used to come to his temple. And then he said I should go and give them, these are like students who are doing a PhD, master's, and undergraduate programs. And then he said I should go and give a talk to these students. So I said, okay, but you know their needs more than I do. I don't stay here with them. I don't know what their needs are. Can you tell me the topic that will be discussed with the students? You know the topic he gave to me? He said, talk to them about the futility of material education. So I told him, come on, why are you so fanatical? I said, you're talking about the futility of material education. I have a PhD, and I know how it's useful to me in my preaching. And you're telling me to be hypocritical to these students and tell them to stop their school? What is this? You tell me something else. He was laughing the way I responded. Okay? So this is the way some people get real terrible advice from their counselors. And so Victor Suda's case was not exclusive because he got a wrong counseling and now he was suffering. The good thing is that he took shelter of the Lord. Now, this is the difference between a devotee and a non-devotee. A devotee may perform an abominable activity, but when he takes shelter of the Lord helps to vanquish all of the sinful reaction. That is the case with Indra. The Ashwamedha sacrifice was meant to placate the Lord. The enjoyer of the sacrifice was Lord Vishnu. So, and Lord Vishnu is the only person, or Krishna is the only person, who can release the conditioned soul from sinful reaction. Nobody else, not even Lord Brahma, the supreme Lord of this universe, not Lord Shiva, not Ganesh, none of the demigods. It's only Lord Krishna who frees the living entity from sinful reaction. And so it is important for us to be able to imbibe a culture of reliance on Krishna. And in as much as we don't go back to commit sinful activities, we'll be protected. Prabhupada gives example. Sometimes people ask, well, I've been a devotee for so many years and I'm still suffering. How is that? You know? So Prabhupada gives the example of the fan. The stellium fan, when you switch it off, it's still rotating. But there is no electricity there. There is no power there. You can't hold it. In other words, with time, the fan will stop. It's been switched off. So, when we switch off our sinful activities, naturally, we get relief from the intense reactions that come with sinful activities. So that is the beauty of devotional service. Another description is given in the Bhagavatam that when one is worshipping Lord Krishna, the ocean of material existence, which is due to sinful reactions for the living entity, ocean of material existence becomes so small, like a calf's hoof print. So any baby can just jump over the calf's hoof print. It makes it so easy. This is the power of devotional service. And so we should be able to appreciate what we have, what Prabhupada has given to us. And here, in this very last text, it is mentioned about the benefits of hearing this narrative. Indra being afflicted by sinful reactions. Just by hearing this narrative, one becomes free from sinful desire, from sinful reactions. Just by hearing, see the power of Bhagavatam. So, of course, it's also mentioned each time we want to discuss on the Bhagavatam, one of the slokas, prayer reading, or prayer discussions on the Bhagavatam is Nasta Prayesu Abhadisu. By listening to the Bhagavatam or by reciting the Bhagavatam for others to listen, all the bad things that cloud the heart of the living entity, they become clear, almost to zero, just by attending the Bhagavatam class or just by reciting. So this is reconfirmed here that this story, which is subsumed in the Bhagavatam, has the power to relieve one of sinful desires. By understanding this incident, one is relieved of all sinful reactions. Therefore, the learned are always advised to read this narration. And the devotee is the most learned person. We have this routine service we do every morning. We listen to the Bhagavatam. And this is one of the benefits we receive. Not only acquiring knowledge, but we also become purified. Oh yeah. Any comments or questions? What is it? Huh? Yes.
Was not enough, that's why.
Oh, so sorry. What's the problem?
I have talk slowly and.
Oh, I'm too fast.
Not so loud. About me.
Oh, you talk slowly.
Talk slowly, not so loudly. You coming fast. It talks faster. Actually, I'm not.
Catch up. You're not able to catch up. Okay.
Properly.
Take note. It's big. I'm so sorry. So it's a problem. Yes. What you want to ask a question? Yes, please.
You mentioned only Lord Krishna can free one from sinful reactions. But is it also the same for a pure devotee? And how do we associate with the pure devotees?
Oh, pure devotees? Yeah, the pure devotees. I'm sorry. The pure devotees' power of absorbing the sinful reactions of the disciple is also from Krishna. It's a community effort. It's a joint effort. Ultimately, it's Krishna who does everything. The pure devotee is a transparent via medium. Because the worship of the pure devotee is so important that Lord Vishnu, he mentioned in the discussion with Lakshmiji in the Gita Mahatmya, Vishnu told Lakshmi that the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita, it's not different from him. Now, in the Padma Purana, Lord Krishna mentions that the worship of the devotee, those who serve his devotee, the service to his devotee is more important than even service to him. Because what is important for Krishna is that the devotee is treated or respected more highly than even him. Most people can't really interact with him. So his representative is there. And if that representative is honored, then he's very pleased. So yeah, that is just one of these very cute secrets of devotional progress. That you just, Mahat Seva, Dora Mahu Vimukti. You serve the pure devotee, the pure soul. And the doors of Krishna Loka, the doors of the high heavenly planets, they are open for ingress. This is just a secret. If we serve the devotee devotee of the Lord, we can rest assured that he will take us by the hand. Even Prabhupada, in his poem, when he was aboard the Jaladuta, one of those texts, I love it, one of those verses, I love it very much. He mentioned that Krishna Taba Punya Habe Bai, E Punya Koribe Jabi Radharani Kosi Habe, Druva Ati Bole Tumaita. Now, he said, brothers, oh brothers, if we want to please Krishna, if we want to attain Krishna, just please Radharani. So it's the same thing. Radharani is ultimately the captain of the ship. And so, if Radharani's her representatives are the spiritual masters. And so if we please the pure devotee of the Lord, then Radharani is pleased, Lord Krishna is pleased. That is the verdict of the Shastra. So we have, the GPS is giving us the shortest route. Yeah. Yes, any other comments or questions? Yes.
I'm sorry for the question. I'd like to know about the responsibilities of Vishnu, if there are some. What is he responsible for?
Oh, Vishnu? Vishnu, yeah.
To make us free from our sinful reactions. What else?
Yeah. Thank you. Vishnu is the maintainer. There are three devotees. One, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they are not Vishnu, Tattva. Okay. But they are also in charge of this universe. Lord Brahma is responsible for creation of these different bodies we find in this universe. The bodies we find. Lord Shiva is, when there is universal cataclysm, there is a destruction, he will orchestrate it. Lord Vishnu, he is the maintainer, he is our maintainer. The maintainer of the living entities. Even the Lord in the heart, the super soul, is expansion of Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu is the person or is the Lord who is in charge of our welfare. Anything you can think of is Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is an expansion of Lord Krishna. If you read the Bhagavatam, there's a whole line beginning with Lord Krishna expanding to Balaram and then to the Chaturvyuha, first Chaturvyuha, and then the second Chaturvyuha, like that. It goes to the Mahavishnu, and then before you come to the Vishnu. So it's a long, but, like regarding your question, Vishnu, his job, his service to humanity is maintenance. Like a parent maintains the family, a parent maintains the children. That's the job of Lord Vishnu. Yes.
And that's why one of his, responsibilities included in this maintenance is to make us free from sinful reactions.
Yeah.
And to maintaining is going on.
Sure.
So that's but then Lakshmi, what about Lakshmi? What is her part?
Lakshmi
What is her part? Because she is the personal servant.
Lakshmi is the consort of Lord Vishnu. She is the most devoted of all the devotees of Lord Vishnu. It's like Radharani. Lakshmi is an expansion of Radharani. So Radharani is the best of the devotees of Lord Krishna. Lakshmi, like when the demigods were making some experiment, they sent Brigumani to go and find out who among these deities, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and Vishnu, who is the supreme. In the beginning of creation, they wanted to find out. So Brigu went, he's the son of Lord Brahma, so he went to his father first, and then offended him. He didn't offer obeisances. Lord Brahma understood that. He was afflicted with some impurities. He was upset. He was angry. And Brigu is a highly evolved stage. He understood, oh, my father is angry because I didn't pay him obeisance. You know, sometimes. So when people act like that, they may not say it, but they feel offended if you don't pay them obeisance. It's a Brahma mentality. Brahma felt offended that
Brahma was offended because of what?
because Brigu Muni, his son, he didn't pay him obeisances. Yeah. So, in our culture, in fact, even the two people sleep in the same room, the first thing you do when you wake up is to pay obeisance to the other person. You are not paying obeisance to the body, you are paying obeisance to the super soul. And so, yeah. And when Brigu went to Lord Brahma, he didn't pay obeisances. That was his strategy. He wanted to test him. So he didn't pay obeisances. And then he realized Brahma was offended. So he went to Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva was coming to embrace him. He said, brother, okay, you see, when the brother comes, you have this happiness, ecstasy, and you want to embrace. You want to hug. In America, hugging is a big thing. They want to hug his brother, and then he said, oh, don't touch me. You hang out in crematoriums. You're filthy, don't touch me. But Shiva wanted to burn him to ashes. The poverty calmed him down. You know, that's the power of a woman. You know, when you have a second half, you know, you can get, your anger will always be checked. Those who are not married, they can be angry and go to jail. But, you know, the married man is always protected by the wife. You know? So, Parvati said, it's a brother, come on, it's a brother, don't worry. So, but then when Brigu went to Lord Vishnu, he went and stepped on his chest. He stepped on his chest. And then Lord Vishnu picked up, you know, his feet and said, oh, Brigu, your foot is, you know, like a lotus, soft like a lotus. And my chest is hard like a thunderbolt. You must have gotten hurt. Oh, I'm sorry. And he was massaging his feet. Then Brigu thought, okay, I gotcha. He's the supreme. He has no anger. But Lakshmi took offense. So, bottom line, you may offend a man. If you offend a man is like you're disgracing his wife. Lakshmi took offense. So because she's dedicated to Vishnu, she doesn't want anyone to offend Vishnu. So she checks people from being offensive to Vishnu. Yeah. And therefore, it is important for us to understand that, yeah, Vishnu is very merciful, but we have to be careful because Lakshmi is watching. In fact, if someone becomes too offensive in devotional service, Krishna can just keep quiet. But at the point, Radharani will say, hey, bye-bye, go. It's enough for you. It's enough with you.
If somebody becomes very offensive, then what?
Yeah, but someone becomes too offensive, Radharani, Krishna may keep tolerating. But Radharani will say, hey, you can't treat my darling like this, get out. So that was the case. That Lakshmi took offense against Brigu's action. But Vishnu was just super compassionate. So yeah, so Lakshmi's position is to protect, so to say, to protect Vishnu's interest. Otherwise, people take undue advantage. In most cultures, for you to go and see a man, you must pass through the wife. Oh yeah. So, in most cultures, for you to go and see, say, a reputable man, high-placed person, rich man, you have to pass through the wife. If you know the wife very closely, it's very easy. The wife can go to the husband anytime. There's no booking of appointment and all this. And she can just bring you, hey, help this guy. He was very helpful to our son. And the husband would say, oh, you didn't tell me these things. Come on. What can I do for you? Women, they have the power, okay? Actually, women are the controllers of this universe. Do you know that? How do you know? She says he knows. That is good to know that you know. You know? All right. Any other last comment or question? Yes, Babu.
You mentioned about how counselors can confuse a devotee.
Yeah.
I was discussing with devotees about our movement, and I remember walking past like churches, and they have sessions for counseling. Just like we have darshan times, there's like a section for that. So, what does it mean to actually get counseling and at the same time not take the position of a guru? What is the role of a counselor, and how can we apply it in our movement?
Yeah, and it's a serious thing in our movement right now, because I know of typical cases where people get some type of, they're misinformed. In most cases, we counsel based on our own idea, not for the pleasure of the guru, not for the pleasure of Krishna. So that is the problem. Therefore, for instance, the Shiksha Guru, like I was in South America one time, and someone approached me, one lady approached me, one devotee approached me, can you be my Shiksha Guru, Maharaj? She's initiated. I said, I can, as far as you speak with your guru, and your guru gives you the green light. Because the Shiksha Guru and the Diksha Guru, they have to be on the same page. This Shiksha Guru cannot give an instruction which is counterproductive to the Diksha Guru's ideologies. Each and every person, yes, even the gurus, they have the same mission on this planet, to spread Krishna consciousness. But they have these different commissions. They have completely different commissions. What type of preaching they're doing, they come for different type of preachings. And so, a guru who is, for instance, engaged in some type of high-profile preaching and all these things, will give instructions to his disciple, very hard and difficult instructions. I'll give you an example of myself. See, Bhakti Swami told me, hey, Vasudeva, go and preach to the professors. My guru, he gave a very hard instruction to me. At that time, I was not even having a PhD or a master's degree. And then he said, hey, Vasudeva, go and preach to the professors. Other devotees are going to preach in colleges, go and preach to students. Here he's telling me, go and preach to the professors. What? Yeah. So I thought, okay, I do something about it. Then I started going to the academic conferences, researching on my own, writing papers, presenting at academic conferences. And the devotees in our community at the time, they were completely confused. They said, what? This guy, he's not qualified to do that. How could he say he's doing that? In fact, they sent devotees to go and investigate me at the conferences to verify whether what I'm saying. I couldn't have been telling lies, giving false report to the guru. So I'm just telling you what could take place in this moment and what I have experienced. Okay? So even my boss was not happy with what I was doing. But this is the instruction from the guru. Okay, so my point is the counselor has to they have to be on the same page with the guru. They have to know the needs of the guru. They have to know what the guru expects them to counsel their devotees about, so that it doesn't seem as if I want to just counsel people based on my desires, my needs. It's not about my needs or my desires. No, somebody, for instance, also I have my own ways of dealing with people who come to me. And I remember I was in France I was in France earlier before I went to Germany. Before I went to Switzerland and then I came to Germany. So when I was in France, we went for a retreat. And so the boy who picked me up from the airport, his parents are devotees. So his parents are initiated by Karma Maharaj. So I was telling him that, Karma Maharaj was my best science friend. So he was shocked. I said, yeah. And I told him some incidences that transpired in our lives. So, and then I told him something. I told him something about his professional life. And he was shocked. He said, but, I never heard of this from any guru or from any Swami. Because what they tell you is something that most of them, what they tell you is something that has to do with immediate need. But now you're telling me to do something that have to do with strategic planning for my future. Not only about chanting Hare Krishna, but also because he was going to get married. So I was telling him what he needs to do and all this is to plan for that. So, and my interest was completely on him, not about, making him my disciple or whatever. No, I just given ideas to people about how to channel their energies to be able to integrate their professional development if they are living outside, to be able to integrate their professional development and sadhana. So the bottom line is that, I've seen cases where I remember one guru, he was speaking to one of his disciples, and he said, "Oh, you are a mini guru already." He said, "You're a mini guru." In other words, you're assuming the power of the guru. Yeah. So we've seen this. People come, in some cases, they work so hard to attain some position, but it's all about, in most cases, it's all about power and control. And they want to attain that position, they want to control, but then it seems as if they are doing it for the guru. But in some cases, no. They're doing it to satisfy their own means. They want to exercise their power, want to exercise their will, and this type of things are going on. And sometimes the devotees are micromanaged. Sometimes they are even emotionally abused, but all in the name of devotional service. And when we do this, we hurt devotees' feelings, emotions. We don't get free from the reactions. Whether you're a Paramahamsa, you hurt a devotee, you are bound, you're responsible for the reactions. And look at the case of Indra. Indra is a devotee, but he does something unconventional, unethical, and now he has to suffer the reaction. So back to your point here, the counselor and the person who is representing should be on the same page so that it doesn't seem as if he's walking towards his own agenda. It should be the agenda of his guru. Yeah. Any other last comment or questions before we leave?
Can I ask you, in the fifth canto, it has some description what is Indra, is it not also like a devotee, just he is like avatar of the Lord actually, because he said this is post of the King Indra, yeah? And how possible what is really actually talking actually, because as example what is sometimes in the Srimad Bhagavatam is they have some application what is, for the example, what is Bhagavan is not is it has some words for the like Bhagavan is it used for the Indra or for the some
elevated soul.
Yeah, like this actually, and is in this way actually there's also explanation have about Indra what is not only ordinary, not sorry, ordinary devotee, but it's actually like avatar as also actually how, for example, possible what is avatar as a reaction actually for the for his simple activities. If he is really actually on the narrated by, I mean actually on the post by Lord actually.
Yeah, thank you. Avatars are Vishnu Tattvas. There are different type of entities. There's the Vishnu Tattva and the Jiva Tattva. The Vishnu Tattva are the Vishnus. They don't have any actions and reactions. Whatever they're doing is for the salvation of human society. And Indra, in all of our scriptures, Indra, even the demigods, they may be described as Bhagavan, but the supreme personality of Godhead is the possessor of all opulences. And so, if we understand, if we read the Bhagavatam properly, we see even how Indra was born. In fact, at one time, one of Indra's brothers was to take over his position until Lord Vishnu came to intervene. So, that is Garuda, That was a big story. That's a very interesting story about that. So, Indra, as far as the Bhagavatam is concerned, is a jiva, not the Vishnu Tattva.
No, at least I'm not speaking about this, actually, about this. No, because he is on the post, and how possible that he get reaction, actually, because of he just follow his duty.
Yeah, he's following his duty.
I understand that he's not Bhagavan, actually, but sometimes it's good actually.
He's doing his duty. But here is the problem. You are given a duty. We have to be careful that we don't step on other people's feet because we are given a duty. Guru said I should do this. So we use that to step on other people's feet. We will get the reactions. Sure. So, yes, Indra was doing his duty as a king of heaven. He was doing his duty. In fact, not only doing his duty, he was advised by the Brahmanas. Was advised by the Brahmanas, kill him. But, this was the result. So, in other words, when we even get instructions, we should use our number 6 to evaluate whether this is something that is violent or not. Violence means, according to the American Psychological Science Association, violence means when we hurt someone or a group. Now, one of our rules and regulations is non-violence. We don't eat fish, meat, or eggs. Why? Non-violence. So we should look at ourselves. We may not grossly go to eat meat, but in some cases we're committing violence every day against each other. We hurt each other. We hurt each other. And that is violence. And so, here, Indra kills somebody. That is violence. A devotee is supposed to be non-violent. And therefore, he was paying for the reactions. Now, let's get these points clear. Even for those who are supposedly devotees, if they commit sinful activity, they get reactions. Sometimes the reaction comes very swiftly. Oh yeah, that's how it works. And that is the reason why we have fall downs also in the spiritual communities and spiritual practices. That is one of the reasons. Because someone assumes a position and then abuses that position. Uses that position to victimize people instead of using the position to salvage the devotional culture of people around. I've seen this. I've stayed in this movement for 40 years. and I've seen all this stuff. Oh yeah. So, our lives should be lived in such a way that to avoid any trouble, avoid hurting anybody, we should live, Bhakti Swami recommended that we should live our lives and treat each other the way we treat our most beloved. Then we will not be vulnerable to offenses. But otherwise, when we hurt, if I hurt you, I'm committing violence. I have broken one of the principles that meat eating. I've broken it. I may not go and eat meat grossly, but I have broken it by hurting somebody. Oh yeah, this is a subtle aspect of those rules. God.
No, is it always work actually? What is it principle of the...
We do our duty, yeah, we do our duties, but our duties, we have to do it in just ways that we don't unnecessarily hurt people. We don't unnecessarily...
Is it the duty of the king punish one who is actually not in...
But this guy is a Brahmin.
But there is Brahmins advise Indra. Indra in his post actually
this
like a king of the heavens.
This is the problem.
This will be punished in any way. And this will be many offenses actually.
This is the problem when we get wrong advice.
This is the problem with the material world actually.
Yada padam padahi bi padam. That is why we should not struggle to attain the position of Indra in this material world, because no matter the position you attain, everything is dicey. You could get implicated. Look, someone was the president of the United States, and now he's a felon. Have you heard about that? One of the past presidents of the United States, he's a felon. He was found guilty of 34 crimes in court. September is his sentencing. September 12 or so is his sentencing. So he can become the president of the United States. And the next moment he become an ex-convict. Material world is like that. So in that, just a big position. But then the next moment is running helter-skelter to hide himself from sinful reactions. Material world is just a warning to us. We should not feel comfortable here. We should never feel comfortable here. No position is secured. King in Riga, he gave charity to Brahmanas, cows to Brahmanas. You heard that story? He didn't, that was his fault. It was not his fault. Prabhupada says the laws of nature are very stringent.
Very what?
Stringent, tough. The laws of nature, our constitutional laws and bylaws are better than the laws of nature. Laws of nature, you can't jump the gun. You cannot jump the gun. No way. The laws of nature, constitutional laws, you go to court, you commit crime, you go to court, the judge may excuse you or may just discharge you and say, oh, you're first offender, I warn you, don't do this again. You go. Laws of nature is not like that. First offender is not there. That's why Prabhupada said the laws of nature are very stringent. So when we hear these things, it's just the impetus is that we should be focused on our devotional service and struggle to be able to rejoin Krishna. This material world, no matter what position, whether you become the President of the United States, you become Lord Indra, you become Lord Brahma, no place is comfortable in the cosmic creation. All right, we have to stop here. It's past 9. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.